but it is the last day on the poem As I Began to Love Myself, attributed to Charlie Chaplin. And as promised, I'm going to work with the last verse today, and then I'm going to close by reading the entire poem one more time. So I'll try not to be too long, but oh my goodness, this has been such a wonderful journey for me, and I hope you've enjoyed it as well. Yes, I'm Coach Sandra, Compassionate Queen of Straight Talk, and I am able to help you because you can do whatever it is that you need to do in terms of speaking up, showing up, standing up, but doing it with confidence. And that's my greatest joy. And yes, today I was being an angel and a warrior woman and some props. So I thought, I'll just leave them on. So isn't it amazing how we can just turn around and leave ourselves sitting in a stew, like, oh, how awful is that? Or judge something. And it goes on until pretty soon, where's your attitude? It's down the tank. I'm just letting you know that I gave that up a long time ago. And I'm getting really good at staying out of the stew. So I'm inviting you to choose to stay in the pity party, stay in the stew, stay in the judging, or jump out and know that there is another life. And yes, you can do it. So let's get going here. That's all about the sad moods and the choices you can have. But today, the final verse says, here I go to read it now, we no longer need to fear arguments, confrontations, or any kind of problems with ourselves or others. I love the way every verse brings it around with others, but more importantly with ourselves. Because once we get the respect and the love of everything that we are about, the knowing of who we are, once we got that, we're not going to do it to others because we're all in the same boat. So we no longer need to fear arguments. Isn't that beautiful? We don't need to fear them. What's going to happen if you have an argument, unless you want to get silly and go off into that negative crap where I choose not to be, an argument can easily be brought just to a discussion and a sharing, and then we can come to an agreement. Sometimes the agreement might be, we'll agree to disagree, but at least we don't have to be in fisticuffs, emotionally, physically, verbally, nothing. So we no longer need to fear arguments. We don't need to fear confrontations. We don't need to fear any kind of problems with ourselves or others. I love it. Even stars collide. Even stars collide. And what happens when the stars collide? Out of their crashing, new worlds are born. Wow. Really, even the stars collide, and out of their crashing, new worlds are born. And today, I know that is life. That's where he finishes. So here you go. For those who are ready to hang in there, I'm going to read the whole thing. And on the first day of this, I actually read it entirely, and I put the words in as well. So you can go back 10 days, 10 presentations. As I began to love myself, which is a poem attributed to Charlie Chaplin. As I began to love myself, I found that anguish and emotional suffering are only warning signs that I was living against my own truth. Today, I know this is authenticity. As I began to love myself, I understood how much it can offend somebody, as I try to force my desires on this person, even though I knew the time was not right and the person was not ready for it, and even though this person was me. Today, I call it respect. As I began to love myself, I stopped craving for a different life. And I could see that everything that surrounded me was inviting me to grow. Today, I call it maturity. As I began to love myself, I understood that at any circumstance, I am the right place at the right time. and everything that happens at exactly the right moment so I could be calm. Today, I call it self-confidence. As I began to love myself, I quit stealing my own time. And I stopped designing those huge projects for the future. Today, I only do what brings me joy and happiness. Things I love to do. Yeah, that's what I'm doing. And that make my heart cheer, and cheer it does. I do them in my own way and in my own rhythm. Today, I call it simplicity. As I began to love myself, I freed myself of anything that is no good for my health. Food, people, things, situations. You know, actually with the food bit, I'm even tempted now to get the sugar craving to go. And I'm thinking, oh my, I love my sweets. But I think it's time for it to go. And everything that drew me down and away from myself, at first I call this attitude a healthy egoism. Today, I know it is love of myself, love of oneself. As I began to love myself, I quit trying to always be right. And ever since I was wrong, less of the time. And today I discovered that is modesty. As I began to love myself, I refused to go on living in the past and worry about the future. Now I only live for the moment where everything is happening. Today I live each day, day by day, and I call it fulfillment. As I began to love myself, I recognized that my mind, can disturb me and it can make me sick. Oh man. But as I connected it to my heart, my mind became a valuable ally. And today I call this connection wisdom of the heart. And finally, we no longer need to fear arguments, confrontations, or any kind of problems with ourselves or others. Even the stars collide, and out of their crashing, new worlds are born. Today, I know that is life. Blessings, everyone. Have a wonderful weekend, and I hope that you've enjoyed this journey and that you have learned now to learn to love yourself as I began to love myself. This is Coach Sandra, Compassionate Queen of Straight Talk. Thrilled to be able to share. You can do it. I can help. And notice, if you click just below, there's an opportunity to come and meet me. Take care. Coach Sandra, Compassionate Queen of Straight Talk. Happy weekend.